Okay, welcome back
Yes.
to episode 5, which is weird crap that just happens.
Yes. When you go to the dermatologist and you're like, what is this thing? And they go, oh, it's a barnacle. I'm like, a barnacle. Yes. My girlfriend came home. We were living together and she came home and she goes, he said, I have a barnacle. I'm like,
Ew,
what's a
that's weird.
barnacle? He's like, what? Am I a boat? Like all of a sudden, I'm like, yeah, I'll
Oh
just
my
burn
gosh.
that off. It's just, yeah, you're just getting older, so things just start popping
Oh
up.
yeah,
Weird,
I hate when
weird
you go to the
things.
doctor and you're just getting older. Well, with that said, I'm gonna make myself feel
Oh,
less old.
yeah, less older. I hate that. You know what? I really hate when they say, "Oh, that's age." I had the gynecologist tell me that. Speaking of which, when I went in to talk about hormones and things that were starting to happen in my body, and I was like, and she was like, "That's just aging."
Oh, isn't that nice?
That's what she said to me, and I said, "Well,
Perfect.
I want to look into the HRT and this. Oh, that's just for hot flashes. That's it." So unless your hot flashes are really bad, then it's not going to do anything for you. Like, what?
Hmm.
What? Hence, doing some research and found this awesome doctor she's on Instagram. She's on all the platforms. Her name is Dr. Mary Claire Haver. And
Oh
she
yeah,
came out with this book and awesome information. So much
yeah.
information because there's so many doctors out there that gynecologists even this is their specialty, but their specialty in menopause is like
Mm-hmm.
nothing, I guess. So very great resource of how to talk to your doctor, how to find a doctor
Right.
when all these weird things are happening in your body. There's we just when we were younger, menopause was a thing. Oh yeah, mom's older.
It hits a lot earlier than you think.
Mm, yeah, it is a lot earlier. And the perimenopause is, oh, this is something interesting
That
on
can
it.
start really early.
So perimenopause is from age 35 to 45, anywhere. It can last that long. It can start that early. It can be all through. And there's all sorts of super fun symptoms that go with that and things that people don't even know. What I always heard was the hot flashes, obviously,
Mm-hmm. Night
waking
sweats.
up, night sweats, waking up at like 3 a.m. for no reason and being wide
Mm-hmm.
awake.
Yeah.
Depression is a huge one.
Yeah.
Um, things drying out, like every.
Oh, yeah. And like your bone density can go down if you're not, being diligent about taking care of that as
Mhm.
well, which nobody
Oh,
tells you.
muscle. Our
Yep.
muscle
And
starts
muscle.
going
Right.
downhill
Right.
at like age 30. We
Yeah.
start losing muscle. And if we're working out, it does slow that progression, but you
Yeah.
have to keep building muscle. So you think, what the scale hasn't changed much, but all of a sudden I have this extra weight or
Pooch.
tummy, got the poo.
Yeah.
I'm eating the same, I'm exercising the same, but your body's telling you something different.
Absolutely. Yeah. Oh
No,
God.
no, no.
You can get like crazy mood swings.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I
Like
think that's just women in general, but as you get older, it can be really, it
exactly.
can be daunting. And you're like, why am I feeling like this?
It's so funny.
Normally not that way.
Do you remember watching movies and the women that the husband would tell the woman, "Oh, just go take your Valium"? You remember watching movies like that? And I mean, as a kid, I'm like, I don't even know what is Valium. I don't know. Oh yeah, she's having one of her things. Well, I think they just used to drug us back.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
used to drug you
Yeah.
with like
Yeah.
Valium and whatnot because you were going through freaking menopause. And
Right.
it's like, no, you're losing estrogen. You need to bring some of that back. And,
Mm-hmm.
there was a study way back when actually I volunteered on when I was in college. It was called the Women's Health Initiative. And it was a very long study. And it was about postmenopausal women and HRT. And I had, because I was in nutrition, I was going to school for nutrition. I had to go and give talks at this Women's Health Initiative, and they were doing food diaries, going through everything. Because I think some women were getting HRT, some weren't. You have like the
Mm-hmm.
placebo. And so I guess somebody ended up having breast cancer, and all of a sudden, like, that study got blew up. And it was that estrogen hormone replacement therapy causes
It's bad. Yeah.
bad, bad, bad. And I guess the more the research has come out, it's actually not.
No. No.
Very small population,
Right.
and of course, HRT is not for everybody, but
No, and if you're doing natural, like if you're doing you there the medicines the ones they were talking about were synthetic
yeah,
in the past, and that's
mhm,
changed so much.
it's
Like
changed a
that
lot.
medication has changed so much. So it's a very different thing, but the best thing to do is find a reputable doctor, an endocrinologist, a homeopath, somebody that has been, that is recommended, or somebody that you research that has a good background in that area. And I've been very lucky with my doctors to have that because it's really very helpful.
Oh,
Really very helpful.
absolutely. And you know what? It sucks feeling crappy and you don't know what's
Mhm.
going on in your body.
Mhm.
That's why the book is very helpful, because she does give some resources and doctors around that are more, I don't want to call more with the sign of the times, I guess. I want to say,
Yeah.
not like old school thinking.
Yeah, not as
Or
antiquated. Maybe a little
yes,
more
it is not,
updated, a little
it's
more
not as
progressive
antiquated.
in thinking like, okay, what can we do from a preventative standpoint to help you manage this next stage? Because nobody has ever talked about that.
No.
I think our generation is the one that talks about it a lot because we're like, what is going on?
Mhm. I think, yeah, I think because now we're like, wait a second. No, I want to do something about this.
Yeah.
This is not normal. Like I said, I went to the gynecologist and her answer to me was, that's just aging. Oh, we have pills for that. So what are you going to do? You're going to put me on all these different
Yeah.
medications for
Well,
these things?
some are, but you
Some
don't
are,
have to be on
yes,
that many. You really
but
don't have to be on that many to get it
no,
managed properly. I mean,
no.
I've been on it for years and it's been great.
On HRT.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and again, it's individual. It's what feels right for you. Like, that was one of the reasons why I started going to acupuncture, is they put me on herbs, and the herbs did help me in a lot of things, but not with everything. There
Hmm.
was, so I do love having the more holistic approach with the more Western, like combining the
Absolutely.
two. I think that's me personally. I like the two together and do things that I feel are going to be healthier for me.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I did start taking some hormones too, super low dose. And that's the key too, is you go super, super low to
Yeah.
see what works for your body. And then the combination of the herbs, I think, has helped me in that aspect. But there's also, back to some of these awful symptoms that come about. Like,
Cholesterol.
oh my gosh, yeah, elevated cholesterol. You have an increased risk of heart disease, which is huge too. Teeth,
Hmm.
your gums start changing your teeth. I,
Yeah.
I thought the last time I went to the dentist, it felt, it was not comfortable. I used to not mind going to the dentist, but it
Hmm.
was like I had more plaque or something, or what was going on. And I'm like, wait a sec. I just want to be like, freaking menopause. Like, like I think the answer to all these weird symptom things is that. But some things like the HRT is helping, but there are things that you have to do, like water. We've talked about having
Oh yeah. Drink
good
water.
water, but good source of water makes a
Oh, I
huge
told you about moving
difference.
here. So moving here in California, I would go and get my teeth cleaned like every 3 to 4 months because of all the plaque buildup. Here, I show up, I go once every 6 months. She's like, "Oh, you have no plaque buildup. Wow." And I'm like, what?
And what changed,
The mineral water.
There you
It's
go.
limestone, natural limestone mineral. Even though it's filtered, it's the water that's here. So I
Mhm.
found that has been quite, it was very surprising.
Well, all the stuff that they do with our water with it,
Fluoride and
fluoride and
yeah.
all the other additives they put into it.
Mhm.
I discovered a It is still in the container, which again, I try to stay away from plastics as much as possible
Yeah. Don't
because
you do like
plastic,
some filtered system that tells you?
yes, well, it is still in the container, like the supposedly the better kind of plastic container. It's called
Hmm.
zero water.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, so it is a filter. So I just put it under the sink and fill it up and, change that filter when it tells me. So the cool thing is it has this little device that you put into it and it's parts per something, ppm. I don't know. I forget what that stands for, but it tells you when it's time to change the filter. But I do notice the taste of the water changes.
That's
And
what you were saying.
right when I take it, it starts to taste a little off, I measure it. It's like, oh, it is time to change that
Oh, that's
filter.
interesting.
But I do feel like my tea does taste better. I
Hmm.
use that water. And just overall, I haven't been using for that long, several months now. Um, yeah, probably since like February.
You and I, no offense to coffee
Yeah.
drinkers, because I get
Oh,
it, but we are tea
we do.
drinkers.
We love our tea.
We love our Jasmine Downy Pearls.
Jasmine Downy Pearls, we're obsessed with our tea.
Yes, and
So
we don't get us
it's
sick.
it's so interesting though what we were talking about with our tea, and it's probably the same with coffee too. I mean, I use a French press for Justin to make his coffee,
Yeah, yeah.
but the bitterness,
No, I have no bitterness, and I can leave that tea
bitterness.
steeping for a really long time, and there's no
Exactly.
bitterness at all. So again,
Exactly.
water source, but a lot of this, again, we're kind of focusing on like weird stuff that happens as you get older, but then you start to ask like, what is the difference? Okay, why is like for me, the dentist, why is this so different? And then I realized, oh, it's
Yeah.
the natural limestone here because it's everywhere, and that's
Mm-hmm.
where the water sources come from.
Right. I'd love to have like a filtration system, like a good one in our home. But like I said, you could do what I'm doing with the zero water,
Hmm.
which,
Hmm.
it's replacing like the Brita, the old Brita
Yeah, yeah,
that really didn't filter everything. And also drinking mineral water, like getting some really good mineral water because we're not getting like some of this is filtering out the bad stuff,
yeah,
but it can
yeah.
be filtering out some
Yeah,
of the
some
good
good stuff
too.
too.
So having some mineral water is really beneficial for us. There's that, I think it's Gerolsteiner is a really good brand of mineral water.
I don't.
Yeah, or Gerolsteiner, something like that. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but it starts with the G. They have it at Trader Joe's. It's in a glass bottle, which makes me very happy, just like our Topo Chicos are in
Oh
glass,
yes, our Topo Chicos.
which makes me so happy, which is mineral water. Lawrence
It
Carter has
is.
mineral water too. So, yep,
Yes.
getting some extra minerals out of my water. But not just, but back to our all menopause and
Mm-hmm.
perimenopause and all that kind of stuff. It's not just the hormone replacement. You have to do all these other things to take care of your body because you are
Absolutely.
going to lose muscle. When you lose muscle, you lose bone,
Yeah.
right?
So we
And
do weight training because
do
we
weight
do
training.
Pilates. I do Pilates twice a week with you, and then on Fridays we do our weight training, which has, I've noticed that I can do a lot more weight than I used to, and there's static holding and grip strength, and there's all these things you make us work on because, like
What
you
is
said,
it?
you want to be able to pick up your suitcase and put it in the overhead bin when you're going on your lovely vacation.
Exactly.
That would be help.
I had a student tell me that. She said, I don't want somebody to say, oh, ma'am, let me help you put that in the overhead compartment. She's like, no, I'm going to do it myself. Like, I don't need you. Thank you for being polite, but
Yes.
I want to
Yeah.
be able to do it
Yeah.
myself. I want to be able to pick up things. I want to lift things. I want to be able to drag the couches out to the street. But
Well, and just even holding, squats and stuff, holding wall squats so that we, build up keep focusing on all the muscles because if you don't, there's things that, one day you might not be able to do.
yeah, you never know when you need to bush it, if you got to pee. I mean, you never know. I mean, you need to use those thigh muscles because you got to squat. I'm just saying, I'd rather do that than use a porta potty. And I've done it.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Because the porta potty's worse,
Uh,
But got to use those thigh muscles. Got to,
yeah.
you
Yeah.
know. right? I don't want somebody finding me on the toilet because I can't get back up either, you know? Like I need to be able to get off, right? I mean, that's the thing.
Yeah.
It's
Well, I think it's
functional.
also true about being when we're stronger that way, that it minimizes our chance for injury too.
Oh, absolutely.
Especially
Absolutely.
because, especially recently in the last 6 months, you have us doing so much with the weights in terms of like not even just movement, more of these static holds in these positions to,
Mm-hmm.
to really
Stamina,
strengthen, do it for longer periods of time. And then we do 3 sets of everything. And by the last set, we're going, okay, are we done with this yet?
right?
Yeah.
Legs are shaking, muscles,
Like they're
and you
shaking.
feel your muscles and you feel it, and it
Absolutely.
feels good. It feels good to be strong. You
Mm-hmm.
know, back when I was younger, it was all about being skinny. It was let me spend hours on the elliptical
Yeah.
and maybe go lift some little 5 pound weights for a few minutes. And it's
Mm-mm.
like, no, it's not about that. The last 20 years of my life is more focused on I want to be strong, I want to be fit, I want to build muscle. And how else am I going to do this?
Mm-hmm.
No, you don't have to spend hours upon hours doing cardio. You
Mm-mm.
can go on your walks. Walks are great for you. Add some hills to the walks. You
Mm-hmm.
know,
Oh, the
weighted
weighted
vest,
vest.
weighted vest. We have our weighted vest. I'll do housework in my weighted vest or
Mm-hmm.
just taking the dogs on a walk in my
Oh,
weighted vest just to give you
right.
that little extra
Extra.
something.
That's when you know what 10 extra pounds feels like.
Right? Exactly. That's so
Ooh.
fascinating when people say, "Oh, I have to lose 10 pounds," or "I lost 10 pounds." And then you put the vest on, you're like, "Oh my gosh, that's what 10 pounds felt
Mm-hmm.
like." And
Mm-hmm.
also, our joints. And we need to have strong muscles for our joints.
Right.
And because we start having all these weird aches, I mean, all of a sudden you're walking down the stairs and you're like, ow, 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 like every step.
Nothing hurts.
Why? Why? I didn't do anything, or you get up. Like, I swear I jack myself up from sleeping half the
Yeah,
time.
you slept wrong.
Always sleep weird. And then it's like, what is it? But trying to keep up on some supplements too. Like, I'm a big proponent of supplements, and I think that they're very beneficial. And what we've talked about before is, or I don't know if we have, blood work, is getting your blood.
Oh, wait, yes.
And I think in this stage, in even younger, at 35,
Oh, yeah.
get your blood work done. You need a
You
baseline.
need a
You need
baseline
to
and you need to
know
know like where your hormones are at. You need to know your cholesterol. You need to know
your
uh,
vitamin D,
vitamin
your
D.
vitamin
Yeah.
B12, your
Yes.
iron, your blood sugar, your A1C, your cholesterol. I mean,
Oh,
all of
yeah.
these things, you need to know where it is and what you need to do,
Yeah.
because I'd way rather work on my diet and fitness and do some healthy things to fix those things rather
Right.
than take a pill for it, take
Or
a
be
drug.
at some point have an injury or have some kind of surgery that you can't avoid.
Exactly.
And
Ex-
and by the way, talking about hormones is not just um progesterone and estrogen. Insulin is the largest hormone that our body produces. It's the biggest one. And that's can cause insulin imbalances can cause so many issues for so many people. And if you just get it balanced right, it can change things dramatically. It can totally change your health perspective
Absolutely. And
almost overnight. And insulin reacts almost quicker than the other hormones because when it's imbalanced, it when you get it fixed, it basically changes almost overnight.
interesting. Well,
Yeah.
it's also your thyroid too,
Yes, and
right?
your thyroid.
Thyroid. A lot of people don't realize if your thyroid controls so
So
many
much.
hormones. It's because you can have hypo or hyper, right?
Hmm.
So it's over functioning or if it's not functioning enough.
Right.
So
And it's
again,
pretty
getting
common. It's
it
pretty
is
common
very
for people.
common.
And if it's not diagnosed, it can, you can have weight issues, you can have all kinds of
Oh, you
issues.
can have so many problems. I mean, a lot of things go back to our heart too.
Yeah.
Having heart disease and heart problems. And
Hmm.
if we can prevent these things
Right.
earlier in life and start just monitoring, get your blood work every year and just see what's going on. How is
Yeah.
that? Why is that changing?
Hmm.
And understand what these numbers mean too,
Right.
and what is healthy. Because sometimes, what I've noticed when they say, "Oh, that's the healthy range," sometimes you need to be like a little more. Like an example would be, say, vitamin D. So your vitamin D range, I'm just going to throw some numbers because I don't know what it is off the top of my head, but say it's anywhere between 30 and 80, right? However they measure it. I don't remember.
Right.
But anyways, and yours is 45. So you're like, it's good, but that actually might be too low.
Yeah. You might
You
need
know?
some.
Yeah. And I think these ranges are sometimes not not so good. It's like, okay, let's watch these over time and
Right.
let's try to
Or
get
like,
some
and
of
if you
these.
have a baseline, then you can look at historically, like, oh, I used to be 75 and now I'm 45, but I'm in the
Exactly.
range. But
Why is that lower? Exactly.
exactly.
Exactly. Why did that drop down? I'm still in that range, but it, I need to probably up my
Yeah.
vitamin D or
Yeah.
whatever it is.
Yeah.
And so I think it's super important in starting young, starting in your 30s. You
Yeah.
start to monitor these things
By the
because
way, no one's going to tell you to do this.
yeah,
Other women are going to tell you, hey, by the way, I went through this, go get this done.
yeah,
So, make sure you have a good resources and people around you to, get some advice or direction or have a good doctor or a good referral to, whether it's homeopathic, whether it's whatever it is, make
mhm,
sure you build your network and your resources of people to help through these issues because it's a multitude. Sometimes it's more than just one, your general practitioner.
right.
Or if
Yeah,
you get a really good and you're lucky and you get a really good general practitioner, then by all means stick with the one. But when you find people that are willing to explore, okay, let's look at all your blood work because there's other things that people don't always measure that will kind of trigger, oh, you're heading into this health area that we might need to explore. So
yeah. You have to be your own advocate. I think that's really
absolutely.
what it comes down to is that you
Yeah,
have
be
to be your own
informed.
advocate. You
Yeah.
know, just like the doctor telling me, well, that's just aging. No, I'm going to be my own advocate. I'm going to do some research. I'm going to read these
Hmm.
books. I'm going to do these other things that are hopefully going to make me feel better. And they have made me feel better.
Right.
My energy has gotten better. I'm
You're sleeping
stronger,
better. Like,
sleeping
one of the
better.
things is sleep recovery, huge, huge. So if you
Oh,
can get the hormones balanced out so that you can sleep comfortably, at least 7 hours,
oh gosh.
that's so beneficial for every part of your body.
I think that's what most, and women especially, is what goes first is sleep.
Oh yeah,
And it's one of the most important things because your
absolutely.
body
Yeah,
needs that
no
time
doubt.
to recover. Like, oh, I don't need that much sleep. I only need 5 hours. It's like, no, you really do. You really do need to recover and rest. And and also sleeping in a particular way. Like I was saying, I get jacked up from sleeping half the time. I'm like, why is this hurting?
Right.
It's figuring out getting a good pillow. Sleeping with the pillow between your knees if you're a side sleeper.
Hmm.
If you sleep on your back, you might need a pillow under your knees. All these, don't sleep on your stomach. Every time I find myself that I'm up and like, sleep in the morning, that's when my back is hurting, my hip is hurting. It's like, I must have flipped on my stomach. But now that I put a pillow between my knees and then I hug a little pillow, then it does help. That really does make a big difference.
Yeah.
But yeah, sleep is just huge. And during menopause, a lot of women, they wake up at like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. That's like a super common symptom
Oh yeah.
of menopause is all of a sudden you're like, bing, wide awake. I
You're
never
awake.
had that issue. I mean, I had a whole lot of other issues, but that one I never had, just the waking up, wide
Hmm.
awake. But I have friends that have had that. And again, it's back to hormones. Oh, and the other thing is that you don't have to be in menopause. I learned menopause is one day. Perimenopause can last 10 years. ages 35 to 45. Menopause can range, you can be in menopause anywhere from 45 to 55. But after 365 days without your period, that one day is
Post.
menopause. After that, it's post.
Post.
I just
Yeah.
learned that. I was
Yeah.
like,
And
oh,
post is a whole nother set of things.
right.
So,
Well, and the thing is if you do decide to do HRT, you can do it during the perimenopause.
oh, it's
You don't
actually
have
beneficial
to,
because what happens is it's your body's way of shutting down because the reproductive side is slowing down. So it's your body's way of shutting those systems down. So when you actually bring the hormones back in, you won't have your cycle anymore, but you will have that, your skin will be more supple. You'll have better sleep patterns. You won't have the hot flashes, the night sweats,
night
like
sweats.
that. Those things, it changes and helps balance. It's about finding the right balance between the hormones and finding a good doctor that's going to look at the levels and analyze it based on
Mhm.
you, because it's all based on the individual. And I think there's not one set um plan for each person. Every person is different.
No, very, very different. And everyone's not going to get every symptom. I mean,
Right.
hopefully not. I mean, some people probably do. Like, I haven't had every single symptom that there is as I'm looking at the notes, but
Yeah.
I mean, you can get a lot of them, and there's a lot of different symptoms going out there.
Hmm.
And there's different things you can do. Like I said, I do herbs. Now that herbs really helped me with hot flashes and with night sweats. But the other areas that were drying out, super fun, eyes drying, But there is, but there is, that's super fun and uncomfortable. And it's like sandpaper. Hey, yeah, I'll just not feel comfortable sitting down. There is vaginal estrogen. And
Yes.
pretty much anybody can take that because
Yeah.
you're actually not getting estrogen like hormone replacement. So people like women who have had breast cancer and they can't have it, they can
Yeah.
actually use that. So it's a great thing because what happens and women don't realize that we start having bladder problems. And when you get that dryness because everything has just started to get thinner up in there
Hmm.
and the dryness and it's painful. So bladder infections start happening. Women have like you'll hear like these old women in these nursing homes having like umpteen UTIs. It's because of
Well,
that.
there's another reason for
Well,
that.
they're
Well,
having some
but that's
fun.
another rabbit hole
They're
that we do
having
not need to go down.
they're having some fun in
However,
the nursing homes.
yes.
Yeah, good times. But
Yes. Well,
but for
well,
them to have a better time in their nursing home, let me tell you, get you get you some vaginal estrogen and
oh boy,
everything will be
here we
all
go
right.
on episode
Wink,
5 of A and B.
wink, wink. I'm just saying, we're we're
Rabbit hole.
we're
So if
making it
you're in
real
your
here.
80s,
This making it real.
listen to
These are
B.
real things.
If you're in your 80s and you live in a retirement community, listen to B.
You'll thank me.
Well, when it's all said and done, this weird stuff happens. Make sure you get good medical people in your arsenal of
Right?
resources. Make sure you have good people in your life, women that have gone through enough stuff
Yeah.
so that you have those resources and that person you can talk to. And
Yeah.
but when it comes down to it, research, be an advocate for yourself. And when all else fails, remember, nothing happens overnight. So just give yourself some grace and, just take moments and seek out the help that you might need when these things pop up, because 100% guaranteed some of these things will pop up.
Yes, 100%. And
It's a
don't
100%.
and I think don't wait until everything has gotten really, really bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think, start doing these things earlier and like you said, being an advocate for yourself and going with what you're feeling because menopause, all that, it's all based on symptoms. A lot of times it's not
Hmm.
based on blood work, like your
Yeah.
hormone blood work, it's based on symptoms. So
Hmm.
monitor these symptoms, write it down,
Pay
take
attention.
notes,
Yeah.
pay
Pay attention.
attention. Hair, is your hair thinning? Is it falling out? What's going, because that is something too.
Yeah. So yay. So much to look
No.
forward to.
And also if you have any questions of things that we do for ourselves that, supplements that we take. I think we're going to talk about supplements, a whole other thing because I'm all
That's a whole nother
supplements.
another
But
topic.
other things, another topic, but other things that we might be doing, please ask away. We'll link some things that we talked about.
Make sure you put the links to the book
The
on
book,
there.
yes, the book and comments, nice ones, anything you'd like
Please,
to tell us, and please subscribe.
other topics that, hey,
Yes,
have you guys experienced this? Oh, probably.
exactly. Yes, yeah. There might be things that you experience that are like, oh, okay, that's another thing.
Yeah.
We all experience different things. This is like the stuff we talked about is just like barely touching some of
Touching
it.
the surface. Yeah.
There's
Just
a
scratching
lot
the surface.
more.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot more symptoms, but please hit that subscribe button and
We'll see you
join
on
us
the next episode.
join us on the
A
next
and B
one.
and wherever our conversations take us.
You never know.
You never know. Bye.
Bye.